Okay, so welcome back, and let's take a look at one last thing we can do with polygons. I'm not going to go through all the different polygon or mesh tools that we have here. There's a ton of them, and there's way more than there are probably if you look at surfaces, which are NURBs. So if you're ever wondering, the surface menu deals with NURBs. The mesh menu deals with all the anything that says mesh here deals with polygons. So let's take a look at this polygon, and let's select, let's do a face. And so, before we were able to pull that face out, but it's kind of just pulling that out and leaving this kind of strange geometry behind. So if we wanted to extrude this out, and let's get something more like, I don't know, right in the middle here. Right. And so here, I have a kind of a shape here. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So I can go ahead and extrude that. So actually, I probably want less. I'm gonna make like a schnoz, a big nose in the center here. So let's go ahead and say edit mesh and extrude. So if you go to the edit mesh, you can click on the extrude, and you'll notice you get the widget. So we usually get that manipulator widget. This one has multiple features on it. So you'll see like there's a scale option, there's the move option, and then you can pull those out. So if you pull it out, you'll notice it kind of scales up. Now you can kind of go back and scale this down a little bit just by using the regular manipulators. And then, and you can play around with just extruding a mesh. So I can go ahead and say edit mesh, extrude, and then I can maybe scale that down. And then I'll go ahead and edit mesh, extrude again. And I'll just pull it straight back in there. So there I have kind of a shape. Now you'll notice if I go, let's say I select my object here and then I do that preview, if I hit like the number 3, you'll see I kind of have almost like a, like the Qbert shape or something. If anybody's played Qbert, there's a character that has a big schnoz like that. So let's take a look at the, let's go ahead and, so now I can go in and refine my vertexes and kind of pull them up to kind of reshape that character there if I want to. And you can create separate objects for the eyes or whatever if you wanted to. If you wanted to pull in the eye sockets, you can do that too. So I would recommend even like extruding those, right? So looks like I missed a point there, so I'll go ahead and just grab that. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this stuff and not really doing it too precisely. But let's pull this guy in here. So he looks like he's got a big zit there. So pull that back in. Can't have zits on Qbert. That's just wrong. So, imagine Qbert with a nose zit and he sneezed, then we'd have to add some particles. So we're not going to do particles right now, but let's take a look at the eyes. Let's just say I wanted to make eye sockets or something. So I could go ahead and, add the same type of thing. So maybe I pull the brow out a bit. And, it'd be easy enough to just add, eyeballs and or, a couple of spheres there with some different colors, right? And so, I'm just pulling these guys out here. So, there's a kind of an eyebrow shape. I didn't really have much room. So this is one of those cases where I probably should have added more geometry if I wanted to. I'll show you how to do that in another video, how to really go on to, really manipulating meshes and adding information. Because this one, I just want you to really play with the shapes rather than try to make an actual character. But, if you wanted to go ahead and add eyeballs or whatever, and you see I have kind of an uneven eyebrow, I can add expressions that way. But really I wanted to show you just kind of that you can extrude shapes out of polygons, and you can't do it out of the NURBs. So if you want to go ahead and make like legs or something like that, go ahead and select those guys and then just go ahead and do extrude, So I got to edit, mesh, extrude, and then just pull those out. See, I pulled the tail out too, so I probably shouldn't have done that, but let's pull that guy back in. So I selected some extra faces there. Let's go back into it again. Make sure I don't have any seats. So sometimes you'll have some hidden shapes there and you wonder what just happened there. So that's what happened if you get things extruded out of other spots. You just selected additional areas. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and extrude that. Extrude, pull those guys down there. And we'll do edit, mesh, extrude. And if you want little feet, and then you can do extrude. Okay, and that's basically the simplest form of polygon editing, I guess.